Why do we get so hyper attached to the people that are the worst for us? I can only speak from experience about anxious avoidant attachment, of which I am the anxious preoccupied portion. Both partners were experienced childhood trauma that they couldn't cope with, which developed in the first generally 6 years of their life. They developed an insecure attachment to a primary caretaker. And the person that they had the most difficulty getting their needs met by will be the one that they have the most difficulty coping with how that relationship went. So it could be abandonment, from a parent who was never there. It's probably better, I could be wrong, but it might be better to have a parent who was just never there than one that was there but abusive. I could be wrong. The brain seeks what it knows. It seeks out confirmations. It's just subconsciously, by nature, it's comfortable in that deja vu. I've been here before. I've been here before. This must be my path. This must be right. This feels like home. This feels like old memories. So that old life that may not have been good, but as an adult, it's ancient history and it's just the past. You're numb to it. It doesn't hurt anymore for the most part. Whatever was normal in your childhood, your brain will naturally want to revert back to, and it will feel like home. So if you were convinced from a childhood trauma or wound that you were no good, that you were broken, that you were unworthy, that you were shameful, your brain will want to revert back to that place. And it will do so by finding partners that you subconsciously know will confirm your brokenness, your unworthiness, your shamefulness, that if you feel like you're garbage, you will find a partner that will confirm to you you are in fact garbage. And that is probably the primary first step as a foundation of understanding your brokenness. Like, why do I keep repeating the same patterns? I know it's bad for me. Why do I keep doing it? Okay, it's not you consciously choosing to do it. It's you subconsciously choosing to do it. By ignoring the red flags because they're the same things that were mom or dad or grandma or uncle or auntie. They're the same red flags that were in childhood, and that makes your brain subconsciously feel like, hey, this is home. So as I'm healing from a really abusive relationship, and God has removed like the whole friends system, which was really just acquaintances to me, because my ex isolated me from my friend system, and I allowed it. I absolutely did. So I bear the burden that to keep her from whipping me, I let go of all these connections that I really needed to regulate my emotions, because the anxious preoccupied partner does not recognize that they don't trust themselves to deal with their emotions. So they export that job. They outsource it to a third party. So the emotional conflict might be like, this is me and this is her. On here we're having this fight and I can't regulate my emotions. I'm not getting soothing from the partner that's supposed to help me soothe. And I can't soothe myself. I'm going to go find a friend. I'm going to go talk to an old friend, or I'm not the one that's going to go talk to an old flame. I did maintain a friendship with my ex-wife, but that flame was extinguished. And immediately that had to go. As soon as wife number 2 came into the picture, you can't be friends with wife number 1. That ocean that was between us, she was in Hawaii, where I was stationed, it was insufficient. Like, all right, so I let her go. The first thing I did was abandon me. The first thing I did was abandon my support system. So I abandoned that female relationship, but I did not replace it with another one. And male relationships don't quite take the place of female relationships. We move 1,000 miles away, and yeah, I still had those people, but I'd have to call them on the phone, and I'm not a call on the phone person quite as much as a stop by person. When you got 1,000 miles of distance, there's no more stop by. And my grandmother passed away. My mother moved way down south. Well, my mother wasn't really part of my support system, but she is now, because we reconciled. Praise the Lord. Reconciled with her yesterday. Told her how much I love her and I choose her and I forgive her for all the mistakes she made. And I know it meant a lot to her. It definitely did, which is awesome. I'm really happy. I asked God to restore my family, and he's doing that. He started with my mother and my father. I meant, like, I want my marriage and my kids back. But now that I'm getting out of it, I'm seeing, wait a minute, this person at their core was really abusive to me. And I'm sure that that's her song too. Like, that I was really abusive to her, and I probably was. I was not encouraging and all these kinds of things. But the things she did to me, you couldn't encourage. You can't encourage affairs and lying and manipulation and binge eating and bankruptcy. And then blame shifting and saying, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. You can't encourage that. I really tried to be the most encouraging spouse I could. But if you want to be encouraged, you've got to give your partner something to encourage you for. She wasn't worthy of the toxic shame that she walked around in. Neither was I. But there was a lot of things she did that weren't that encouraging. And the things she did do that were encouraging, I failed to see. So I bear responsibility there. I definitely do. I positively do. But I effing hate you. I effing hate you. I effing hate you. I want a divorce. I'm leaving you. I hate you. That's really abusive. That's really, really abusive. And that was normal. That was normal several times a year throughout the toxic fight cycles. So I kind of realized when you strip away the attraction and the sex and the like broken co-regulation, when you strip that all away, our core dreams, our wants, are like, why were we married? Because we had kids by accident. That's why. Because we have a mutual glue in that we love our kids. We think our kids are the best. And we think that the other partner is also a really good parent. So I have great respect for her parenting, and she has great respect for my parenting, even though we both suck at it sometimes. But when you put the two of us together, we balanced out and made really good parents. And so there's an admiration there. But is that enough for a marriage? Not when you throw in periodic I hate yous. Periodic FUs. I was the FUer, she was the I hate youer. And they really boil down to the same thing, don't they? I intend to hurt you. I intend to hurt you. You're wounding me. I'm going to put up a shield and wound you back. That's a marriage built in hell. And it creates a special kind of hell in your life. And Jesus came to undo the works of the devil, to destroy the works of the devil. A marriage built on, sex on the first or second date and, just a flaming passion. That's fornication. It's a sin. God is not the author of fornication. So it's time to move on. If any of this strikes a chord with you, subscribe, because I'll probably spew out a whole bunch more of this crap as we go. But right now, I need to go load a tractor because I think my healing has hit the final stage, stage 5, resolution. I'm making peace with it. The sun is out, birds are chirping, future is brighter, my emotions are stable. There is a woman in my life that I'm not putting my hands on that reciprocates with me and cares about me. And I do lean on that for a reassurance, but God gave me reassurance before her that he's got his hand over me. And that's the security. The women come and go. Wives come and go. Your children are the ones that you really want to work your butt off to maintain a relationship with. And I have a relationship with my kids that's not perfect, but it's getting better. It's getting better as I back off on trying to control everything. I'm a control freak. She was a control freak too, but I'm a control freak. No matter what circumstance I'm in, I'm a control freak. And that's not good. That's a sign of insecurity. Just like how as soon as there's a confrontation, I take it straight to let's fight. Like, if you want to disrespect me, let's go straight to, like, you want to disrespect me? Do you want to take a swing at me? It's immediate. That's trying to control the situation. I should be able to allow a person to disrespect me. Jesus allowed himself to be captured and crucified. He didn't block any of it. And that's power. That's not weakness, that's power. That he denied himself and refused to sin to avoid pain. Who among us won't sin a little to medicate pain? That's what we're all doing. We're all sinning left and right to medicate pain. The reality is, a powerful person, a strong person, sits still and endures that pain. And I don't want to be a weak person anymore. I want to be a strong one. I want to be strong for my kids. I want to be strong for my grandkids. I want to be strong for the Lord Jesus Christ. Even though I'm weak, and that's like, my weakness causes me to lean on him, and that's what gives me the strength. But whoever my next partner in life is, I want to be strong for her. I don't want to be a coward. I don't want to be running around hurting people to protect my childhood wounds. I think it's stronger to just expose all your shame. Put your shame right out there. I mean, no one's really giving me that much lip about it, number one. Number two, if somebody leaves a nasty comment, I can just push remove. Boop, see ya. Number three, every knee will bend and every head will bow and every tongue will confess, but it won't be to your detractors. It won't be to the people who don't like me on YouTube or Facebook or the mom's group that my ex has hating me, or to this one or that one or anybody, or to my in-laws, or who gives a crap? There's only one that's going to judge. And that's the one that we really need to worry. What do you think of me, Lord? Show me a bird's eye view of me, like from your eyes. When my mom left as a kid, when I was 5, and she's like, I left because of you, and she don't remember saying it, I could never forget it, because my identity crisis happened right then. I got a new identity. I don't have an identity crisis anymore. It's secured. Like, the Lord knows me, knew me before he built me, knew every mistake, every fidget, every fear, every anxiety, every joy, every prideful thing. I'm super prideful, and that's why he's had to beat me so hard, because that pride is a problem. Pride goeth before destruction. He loves me enough to whoop my butt for it, to get that pride knocked out of me. And the more you reach for that pride to medicate your genuine insecurity, the more he's got to whip you. I wrote a little poem, song kind of thing. I can't remember it offhand at the moment, but the gist of it is that we don't give him a choice but to afflict us sometimes. I can't be mad at God for afflicting me. I begged for it. I begged for it in my disobedience. When my kids insist on going against me, man, I tell you what, I don't feel bad for whooping them after, because they know better. Like, be compliant and be docile, and I will give you a hug, and I'll be sweet and tender. But go against me, like try to exert your authority against mine in my own home? Look out, kiddo. Anyway, if any of this resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. If it irritated you, if I pissed you off, if you hate me, if you hate God, if you're angry at God, if you're angry at a family member, tell me what grudge you're holding on to. Put it down below. Let's talk about your grudges. Depression and loneliness, they come from a collection of anger and resentment. Unmanaged anger leads to an accumulation of grudges, and grudges lead to loneliness. You don't want to be lonely? Start calling people up and asking for forgiveness. Forgive them of what they did to you, and call and ask. And just say, listen, I've been upset with you. The Spirit led me to do this, actually, this last December. But go to their house or call and ask and say, man, I got to ask you forgiveness. What are you talking about? No, you don't. Yeah, no, you didn't know that I've actually been upset with you because I heard this thing or that thing, and it really hurt my feelings, and I've been mad. I haven't been around because I've been mad, and I've been holding a grudge. And you didn't know I had a grudge, but I'm telling you now I did, and I want forgiveness for it so that I can let it go, because I really care about you and I really like you. Man, you go do that, and you're either going to have instant friendship or you're going to know who you need to remove from your life. And I suggest that you try it out, because it sounds scary when you're ringing the doorbell, but once you get in the room and you start saying it, so what if they reject you? They rejected Jesus. What makes you think you're any better? Healing looks good on you, people. Follow along.